who came into Cleveland, hired a guy, came in. You wonder why Josh Gordon's in trouble. You know, I broke the story about Manziel's drug test weeks ago.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you something, man. Every person that worked in the Browns front office that would be in place to help guys like Josh Gordon are no longer employed with the Cleveland Browns, man. So you know what? You take a guy like Modell. He was a class owner. You remember when Sam Rutigliano worked for Modell. They had the Inner Circle program going on. They did great things to curtail the drug use in the NFL with the Cleveland Browns players at the time. You know what? That's classless, going and urinating on Art Modell's grave or next to his grave or whatever you want to call it, man.
LG, I said the same thing, and I can't stand that. Man, listen, you want to go piss on somebody's grave, you want to piss on Hitler's grave, you know, Jeffrey Dahmer, you know.
You can understand it. You can understand it.
You know what I mean?
With a person
but this
like
is
Hitler,
a sports thing. I mean, come on. Yeah, exactly.
There's got to be a special place in hell for people that do anything wrong to people's graves, J-Rock. There's sacred things that should be held sacred, and that's one of them, man. That you don't do that. I don't care what the guy did. Art Modell certainly doesn't deserve that kind of treatment. And you know, I've had a video since Modell died of people that were defecating on Art Modell's grave, man. And I've never put that out in the public, man.
There's something else, too, is I can tell you, I've heard stories, and so have you. If you think that, how long has it been now since the move? If you think that this is the first time or the 100th time or maybe even the 1,000th time that since the Browns moved and Art passed away, if you think, then you're wrong, because I've heard stuff. But the additional difference is this idiot with his video camera recorded it, and there's my other point, LG, is as if doing it is not bad enough. This dummy records it, puts it out there. He thought he was cool. You could hear him with their little voiceover and everything. They thought they were making movie history. But now everybody is panning this thing off as this is what all of us do here in Cleveland. People are lined up. I'm selling tickets right now. People don't know that, but I'm selling tickets to go pee on Art Modell's grave. That's how we make a living and do things here in Cleveland. But I'm joking to say that that's what happens on the national level, because all somebody's going to do is see that and go, look, that's what's wrong with Cleveland right there. And so what an idiot move all around.
You know what, but let's not give the guy too much time in the limelight. He's already had far more enough. Let's talk about the current Cleveland Browns and a problem that I see forthcoming, J-Rock. And I'm a little concerned about Mike Pettin taking the lead in telling the Akron Beacon Journal that in week 3 he's going to make a decision on who the starting quarterback's going to be. I thought Mike Pettin was already convinced that his starting quarterback was definitely going to be Brian Hoyer. And I'm a little concerned, man, that if you throw, Cleveland since 1999 has a history of throwing these guys into the fire a little bit too soon. And what I got to tell you, man, Johnny Manziel is not ready to play NFL football yet, man. The stuff he did in college, you and I have talked off the air before. You know, I had a talk with Herman Fontenot, former Cleveland Browns great. And he's convinced Manziel's antics in college are not going to work on the NFL level, man. So I certainly think, even though Pettin thinks it's wise to say he's not going to get any pressure from anybody in the Browns organization, that this is a first-round draft pick, and we should start him because he's a first-round. I believe he's getting pressure that Manziel's a first-round draft pick, and we want to lean towards him. Whether he's ready or not, I just hope we're not in for another season of gloom and doom by throwing a guy into the fire that's far from ready to be thrown into that fire, J-Rock. I'm a little concerned about that, man.
Well, I would be more concerned if it wasn't for the fact that the split is the entire organization and Jimmy Haslam just being. But you are right. There's obviously going to be pressure. But, I mean, Ray Farmer, Mike Pettin, everybody that is working together in the player personnel department, we're all kind of on the same page with that. It was the thumb pressed down by Jimmy Haslam that put that thing over the top as far as Manziel. And I've heard reports coming out of the draft room to the same thing, that they had many different scenarios there. That one happened to be available and pushed above the top. Hey, it is what it is, and it could turn out very well. Point being is that as long as the general manager and as long as the head coach are of the belief that the best man is going to win, then I do believe that the best man is going to win, and I still believe that they're going to wrap it up relatively quickly. I think that unless in the next 2 weeks John Manziel is the second coming of Joe Montana, this thing is already done.
Well, we've seen it before with quarterbacks that look good in practice. I got a big kick out of the Dallas Cowboys open their training camp yesterday.
Of course, Brandon Weeden, baby.
Yeah, you see all these Weeden highlights. What they failed to show were the multiple Weeden lowlights that far surpassed the Weeden highlights while he was here in Cleveland. And, the Dallas Cowboys fan base is going to be in for a rude awakening because Weeden is a player that always looked great in practice. Now, Manziel may follow suit and look really good in practice, but let's face it, J-Rock, with the players, the CBA, with the players' agreement, the way the NFL runs nowadays compared to how it was when we were kids, there's no two-a-days. You can't even hit nobody in football practice now. So, of course, the guy's going to look good, man. If this was the old days where you would have been going after the quarterback in practice to hone your skills like they did back in the days when Cleveland was winning more football games than losing, we would have weeded out Weeden a whole lot sooner when he was faced with that pressure. That was something we weren't able to see until game day came. You know what I'm saying, man. You can understand my concern for that, I'm sure. But
Absolutely.
What I'm saying is, you could have a Johnny Manziel that's he may look great in practice. It's the calm and the coolness that comes under fire that takes you into the games that you need to display, and that can only happen in a game-time situation. You can't even mimic a game-time situation in practice in the NFL anymore, J-Rock.
I agree with you, and I understand exactly what you're saying. I think that, you know what the cool thing about this is the last time that we get to do this. Tomorrow it begins. We don't have to sit here anymore and go, what's going to happen if this, that, and the other thing, because starting tomorrow, they're going to be taking snaps against each other, and they are going to be on the path to determining this thing. And I'm telling you, the Browns can tell you whatever they want about as far as when they're going to third playoff game. I think they'll have their decision made up by the end of the first playoff game. Really, I really believe they're going to go into it open-minded, but I believe that their mind is kind of already made up, and it will take some serious convincing on Manziel's part to change that. I truly believe that. I mean, you've got a general manager and a coach and a coaching staff that believe, in most cases, in veterans over rookies to begin with. You've got an incumbent quarterback who also is a good story and a popular person. I'm just saying, when you put all of those together, and the fact that you got a new coaching staff that would prefer not to have things go stupid from the very first snap of the season, I think that the advantages are all Hoyer. Whether that's fair or not, you can make that argument, but the advantages are all Hoyer's to lose. I believe it's his job to lose and not as much Manziel's to win. And that doesn't mean that week 4, this doesn't change. That when you hit the bye week, this doesn't change, depending on how the first couple of games go. But I just believe there's no way they're going to throw him out there unless, I mean, now listen, if he goes out there when the light comes on in training camp, if Manziel goes out there and people go, geez, this is what we drafted him for, maybe. But other than that, they're not throwing him out there against Pittsburgh in the opening week. It's to his benefit. If nothing else, if you want to look at it from a total pessimistic side, it's to his physical benefit to let Brian Hoyer get beat up by Pittsburgh more than a rookie quarterback.
If there's a beating in store.
No. I'm saying from the pessimistic side, like, even if you don't think Brian Hoyer is any good, if you're one of those guys, it's still better for you not to have the kid just get his brain stomped in the first time out there as far as reading the defenses and all of that. And again, Vashon, I hear you. You can tell me what Manziel was or wasn't drafted to do, and you can continue to preach to me how bad Brian Hoyer is. I'm telling you that what will that say then if John Manziel is not the starter in week 1? What does that say then? If Brian Hoyer is as bad as the anti-Brian Hoyer people will say, then this job should be won in about 24 hours by your boy Johnny Football. Come Monday, he should be the starting quarterback. I'm just saying, if
good.
Brian Hoyer was as bad as these guys said, do you think the Browns would be monkeying around with any kind of playoff or starting competition? And if they did, it wouldn't be with Brian Hoyer.
Well, that's the thing, and what concerns me is I just told you earlier. I mean, Pettin already had his mind made up that Hoyer was going to be the guy. He said he has all the attributes we're looking for in a quarterback. His decision-making second to none under fire. And I just got to tell you, that comes with time, J-Rock.
I agree.
It's certainly not time because we have an over-substantial amount of jersey sales to consider Johnny Manziel a starting NFL quarterback. I think it's the wrong way to go. I think all it can do is ruin him. You know as well as I do, people don't want to talk about NFL bounties, but I guarantee you there's already a bounty on Johnny Manziel's head. He's so cocky, there's defensive guys are just waiting for a chance to knock some sense into his little head. And I got to tell you, the size of Johnny Manziel is concerning as well. Even though Hoyer's not that much bigger, he's still a bigger, broader guy. Manziel's in for a rude awakening when he tries to pull the crap that he pulled in Texas here in the NFL.
Man,
and that just concerns me. I just can't live through another losing season of football, man.
Both quarterbacks have, as far as that, they both have weaknesses when it comes to size and ability to be injured and durability issues. Really, Cleveland, and I've said this for the whole offseason, needs to stop being so damn divisive about this quarterback thing. And every fan needs to back the hell up and hope that both of them, not one of them, both of them are competent NFL quarterbacks. Because I got a feeling that they're both going to get banged up through the course of this season. They're both going to see time through the course of this season. And everybody keeps looking at week 1 as this target date for Johnny Jersey backup, whatever you want to call him, to be out there and start his journey. Just because he sold a bunch of jerseys. I remind everyone that in the 3 months after the NFL draft, Brady Quinn went into his first training camp with the number 1 jersey in the NFL too. Just keep that in mind as well. Where is Brady Quinn even at now? So all I'm simply saying is that everybody has got to stop being so this guy sucks and this guy is great. Because if that's the case, the Browns are in trouble, whether the guy that sucks is Manziel or Hoyer. Because at some point, they're both going to be called upon. And I'm telling you, where these guys are at the beginning of this season should not be in the Browns discussion. Maybe it's in the fans discussion, but where the hell John Manziel is 2 years from now is where he should be in this discussion. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, and that's what I would rest comfortably if that was the conversation on the table.
Exactly.
But the way that it's being presented by Pettin now, I don't believe the fact that he's not getting any pressure from the organization. That's like a Freudian slip, J-Rock. I think he is getting pressure from Jimmy Haslam to make sure that this Manziel can be ready to go. And I don't think, Jimmy Haslam's in this thing about all the football, everybody. This guy's all about the bottom line, man. He's all about the dollar. We saw it with his rebate scheme, and we saw it with the way that he sacrificed 9 of his employees at Pilot and Flying J. He don't give a shit about people, man.
Hey.
Excuse me, I slipped. We have to point that out, J-Rock.
But I'm with you. I know what you're saying, and I do agree. And I think that the pressure may be more to not be locked in on the other side, like I said, because I think that the coaching, and maybe that's why they're so in the other side. It doesn't matter, because this conversation ends tomorrow, and at least we can see, and maybe they have a fake competition. Maybe you're right. Maybe 2 weeks from now we're going, man.
Well, we saw
Manziel,
the same kind of competition. We heard about it was going to be a competition with Brandon Weeden.
We've heard about lots of those phony competitions are the launching point of Brown seasons for the last 10 years. Trust me, we've heard about coin flips and gut feelings and all of that stuff, man.
Well, it's just going to be a matter of we're going to see what's going to happen, and you're right, it's coming soon. And, I just hope that we make, we really cannot afford to have another losing season, especially with some of the free agents we brought in for the defense. Our defense really has to be the leader on the field this year. We can't sacrifice the last 2 minutes of a game defensively we have to put up the fight that it takes to win a football game, J-Rock. And with some of the guys we brought in, the veteran leadership on defense, and plus the guys we had here already, I think this defense can do that. But